Hey there, friends. I hope you're having an amazing day today. But if you're not, hey, that's perfectly okay too. Life isn't always a sweet, refreshing cup of bubble tea. Sometimes, it's more like a steaming, spicy bowl of noodles.it. Stings your tongue, makes your eyes tear up, and leaves you gasping, wondering, why on earth did I even start eating this? But here's the funny part. Somehow, you still end up finishing the entire bowl. And afterward, you lean back, smile, and say, dang, that was actually pretty good. That, my friend, is life that I in the moment it burns. It's uncomfortable. You question everything. But later, when you look back, it somehow feels strangely satisfying, almost delicious. Today, I want to talk to you about something most people completely overlook, yet it's one of the most powerful, life-changing secrets for long-term success. That it's simple. Win silently. Yes. Win like a ninja, smooth, quiet, and sharp. Don't go waving a giant flag every time you take a small step forward. Don't shout from the rooftops just because you made your first $100. Move like a cat, silent, focused, and calm as it stalks its prey in the quiet alleyways of life. Because by the time anyone even notices you, you'll already be sitting confidently at the top of the mountain, enjoying your success sandwich, calm and collected. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever shared your good news with someone, maybe a close friend or family member, only to be met with awkward silence? Maybe they coughed nervously, avoided eye contact, or muttered something like, "Oh, must be nice." My friend, welcome to planet Earth. Here, people often feel secretly happy when you're struggling, because it makes them feel better about their own stagnant lives. But the moment you start to rise, something changes. They get uncomfortable. And that's why today, we're going to dig deep. That I want to show you exactly why winning silently is the smartest, most strategic move you'll ever make, and how it protects not just your progress, but your energy, your focus, your sanity, and most importantly, your peace of mind. In my early days building Alibaba, we were nobodies. Just 18 dreamers squeezed together in my tiny apartment in Hangzhou. And we had no money, no connections, and honestly, no clue what we were doing half of the time. We ate cheap instant noodles like they were 5-star gourmet dishes. Our laptops were ancient. Our internet was painfully slow. But our dreams? They were ridiculously huge. We were building something out of nothing, laying digital bricks, one by one. But here's something I noticed along the way. When we were struggling, nobody paid attention. Then, once we started to grow, people laughed at us. And finally, the fake congratulations started rolling in. Yes, they clapped. But if you looked closely, their smiles never reached their eyes. They'd say things like, "Jack, wow, you're so lucky." Lucky? You think luck writes code? You think luck negotiates contracts or builds servers? No, my friend, that wasn't luck. That was sweat mixed with stress, sacrifice, and countless sleepless nights. Here's the brutal truth. When you're failing, the world is silent. No one cares. But the second you start to rise, suddenly everyone becomes an expert on your life. He's changing. She thinks she's too good for us now. He must be up to something shady. Why? Because when you begin to shine, you start to reflect the shadows that others are desperately trying to hide. Your growth makes their stagnation obvious. Your progress threatens their comfort zone. And instead of celebrating you, they start projecting their fears, doubts, and insecurities onto your success. Like a bad movie nobody wants to watch. But somehow, everyone has an opinion about that. That's exactly why I always say this. Win silently. Don't announce every little win. Don't parade your progress. Guard your peace like it's the most precious thing you own. Because winning silently isn't weakness. It's wisdom. That it's your secret armor in a world where not everyone is rooting for your success. That I always remind people, talk less, work more. Why? Because the moment you start talking too much about your goals, two dangerous things start to happen. First, you waste your own energy. Second, you attract unnecessary competition. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you casually tell 10 people, "Hey, I'm starting a new business." Guess what happens? 9 of them secretly hope you fail. And the one who nods supportively, deep down, they might be quietly copying your idea, all while smiling at you and pretending to cheer you on. That it's like planting a seed that you dig it up every single day just to show people, "Hey, look, it's growing." Of course not. You water it, you protect it, and you let it grow silently, hidden beneath the soil. And then, when that seed finally grows into a tree, even your biggest, critics will have no choice but to sit under its shade. Let me share a funny story with you. One that still makes me shake my head every time I think about it. Back in 2001, I attended a tech conference, the kind of event where everyone tries to sound smarter than everyone else. People were throwing around words like IPOs, the future of the internet, and claiming their startup would be the next Google, even though most of them didn't even have a working website yet. So, there I was, standing quietly, sipping my tea, when suddenly, this guy strutted in like he owned the entire building. He was wearing a shiny, flashy suit, sunglasses indoors, and get this, gold shoes. Yes, gold shoes. That I stared at him, wondering if maybe he'd gotten lost on his way to a magician's convention. Or perhaps he was heading to a wedding on Mars. But nope. He walked right up to me and said loudly, "Jack, people need to see that I'm successful." I smiled politely and replied, "Yes, but they also need to see that you're not insecure." He laughed loudly. I laughed too, but inside, I was thinking, "Bro, your shoes are shining brighter than your ideas. Your confidence is louder than your actual competence." Here's the thing. The biggest threat to your success isn't failure, it's the desperate, constant need to impress. If you spend all your time and energy trying to look successful, you'll forget how to be successful. You'll start performing instead of building, competing instead of creating. Let me remind you of this truth. Wealth doesn't need a parade. Wisdom doesn't need a microphone. And power doesn't need to shout. Real success walks quietly. It doesn't wear gold shoes. It wears humility. It's not about who's noticing you. It's about what you're building while everyone else is too distracted by noise. So please, build quietly. Let your work shine through substance, not through shoes. Have you ever walked into a room and noticed something? The loudest person in the room usually has the least to say, but the quietest person? The one sitting calmly in the corner, not trying to prove anything, not jumping into every conversation like they're on a talk show. That's often the most powerful person in the room. Why? Because they understand something most people completely miss. Silence is strategy. Silence builds curiosity. Curiosity builds respect. When people can't figure you out, they watch you more closely. They wonder about you. They imagine all kinds of stories. And you know what? That mystery, it's powerful. Mystery pulls people in. Without you lifting a finger, people will start whispering, "What's he up to these days? She seems to be doing well, but I can't quite tell how." That's your secret weapon. But the moment you start talking too much about your plans, your progress, your next move, you lose that mystery. You turn your strategy into a public seminar. And here's the harsh truth. Not everyone in your audience is there to cheer for you. Some are there to compete with you. Some are there to copy you. And sadly, some are there to curse you. And trust me, those curses don't come loudly. They're wrapped in fake smiles and soft, polite compliments. And that's why I say, let them guess, let them wonder, let them write their little stories about you in their heads, while you quietly write your real results in peace. Be like the sunrise. Have you ever heard the sun announce itself in the morning? Of course not. It just rises, quietly, steadily, and powerfully. And yet, everyone sees it. That's how your growth should be. Quiet enough to confuse them, strong enough to humble them, and undeniable enough to inspire them. Because success, without peace of mind, It's like owning a mansion with no roof. Sure, everyone can see inside, but the rain still gets you. The more people know about your next move, the more exposed and vulnerable you become. Not everyone is evil, but let's be honest, plenty of people are nosy. And when too many eyes are watching, here's the danger that too many people overlook. When you focus too much on what others think, you stop living and start performing. You post that vacation photo, not because you're truly enjoying the moment, but because deep down, you want to prove something to others. You buy that fancy car, not because you love driving, but because you crave validation. Let me remind you of a simple truth. Approval isn't oxygen. You can breathe just fine without people liking your photos. Now, allow me to drop a little animal wisdom on you. Have you ever seen a lion roar before it catches its prey? Of course not. The lion stays low, silent, focused, watching, waiting, calculating every move. Meanwhile, the chicken? Oh, the chicken squawks loudly every single time it lays an egg. Just one tiny egg, and it's screaming like it just won a Grammy Award. But let me ask you, who do you respect more? The silent, powerful lion, or the noisy, frantic chicken? Let your success be like the lion's roar, only heard after the hunt is over. Here's the problem I see everywhere these days. People are turning their personal growth journeys into reality TV shows. They post every tiny milestone online. I'm working on something big. Just made my first $50 today. Watch this space. But here's the truth. Real builders don't need an audience. They need focus. Think about it.d. Oh, you see Elon Musk tweeting every time he tightens a bolt. Do you see Messi posting a selfie every time he takes a practice shot? No, because real greatness doesn't need applause during rehearsal. Let people clap when the performance is finished. And here's a sad truth about the world we live in. It costs absolutely nothing to support a friend, zero. But still, many people choose jealousy instead. Why? Because jealousy is easy. That it's easier to say, must be nice, than to say, wow, I'm really happy for you. It's easier to mutter, you've changed, than to ask, how can I learn from you? But here's something important you need to hear. Yes, you should change. You weren't born to stay the same. That you're not Wi-Fi. You don't need to keep everyone connected. That you're meant to grow, to evolve, and to do it silently. That way, when you finally bloom, no one can accuse you of bragging. When you win loudly, you alert everyone, including people you once trusted who might not want the best for you. Suddenly, they start planting little seeds of doubt in your mind. Are you sure this will last? Don't fly too high. You're lucky now, but luck doesn't last forever. That's why I always say, protect your dream like it's your child. You wouldn't take a newborn baby out into a thunderstorm, would you? No, you nurture it quietly, safely, until it's strong enough to walk on its own. Remember this. Some snakes only crawl out when the grass gets cut low. And finally, don't announce your plans. Just do them. Don't explain your next move. Just make it. And when people finally look at you and ask, whoa, when did you become so successful? Just smile and say, while you were watching, I was working. Your life itself will become the loudest, most powerful speech you ever give. Oh, what's the right approach? Work in silence. Pray in silence. Invest in silence. Learn in silence. Grow in silence. Win in silence. Because when the timing is right, your success will speak for itself. Loudly, clearly, and beautifully. And trust me, that noise is sweeter than any announcement you could ever make. Let me leave you with this final thought. The tallest, strongest tree. It all began as the quietest, tiniest seed. Don't be afraid of being underestimated. Don't feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. Let your results be your resume. Let your peace be your power. Let your silence be your strategy. Win silently. And when you do, they won't even know what hit them. They'll simply look around, stunned, and whisper, wow, when did this happen? And you'll smile because, while they were busy watching others, You were quietly becoming legendary. Thank you.